just woke up to one of the biggest gacha flip-flops in the entire genre. Dude, I did not expect to see this. Brown Does 2 has now officially retracted their censorship. So on the one hand, this is a big win for the game. On the other hand, is the damage already done to the IP? Have players already committed to leaving because that trust has been broken and is impossible to earn back? I guess let's go ahead and find out. Now, I don't want to claim here that I was the driving force behind this, but I definitely did cover it. I got 13,000 views day 1, almost 30,000 views day 2. This is the power of having a content creator on your side, covering the things that other people don't want to and saying the stuff that other people refuse to. Let's take a moment here and recap exactly what happened. A few days ago, Brown Does 2 confirmed that they were going to be censoring some cutscenes, censoring some characters, some outfits, and core parts of the game, including a minigame. Players were incredibly upset. I went and covered, I think, a dozen, 2 dozen different Reddit threads detailing people being frustrated, detailing people that were leaving the game, quitting entirely. Following that, an announcement was made by the Brown Does 2 devs themselves, where they went on to confirm that they know that they had broken their trust with players, and they were committed to censoring the game anyway. They didn't really care. They gave 100 free polls as compensation. They gave 16,000 premium gens as compensation. And they stated that they were going to walk players through all of the improvements that they were making to the game step by step. They went silent for about a day. The Google Play Store ratings started decreasing quite rapidly. It was 4.6 stars on the 9th. That was just 3 days ago. This was posted on the 11th. That was just yesterday. It was 3.9 stars. As of right now, it dipped down to 3.4 stars, from 3.9 to 3.4 overnight. This is probably the fastest decline I've seen outside of Black Beacon and Infinity Nikki. So players were even more upset. They were leaving 1-star reviews everywhere. There were hundreds, there were thousands of reviews left that were all incredibly negative, 1 star. Neoiz themselves started copy pasting the same thing. We understand your disappointment with censorship. Your feedback is valuable. And then they went silent for a little bit. They decided after about a day that they were going to hold an urgent live announcement. We sincerely apologize for the disappointment and concern we have caused to many of our players. Over the weekend, we carefully reviewed all valuable feedback shared across various channels, taking each comment seriously. So what they did was they saw all the negative reviews, all the 1-star reviews, all the hate threads on Reddit, all the terrible coverage they'd received across Twitter and social media. And they decided, fuck, we messed up. Shit, quick. We gotta do something. Our ship's burning. Based on these discussions, we had internal meetings throughout the weekend and into this morning. In light of the seriousness, they actually held meetings, guys, meetings on the weekend. In light of the seriousness of the situation, we'll address our revised plans regarding content changes through an official broadcast. And then they followed up. I made a tweet stating that I will be covering this today, and it's not difficult to not be a piece of shit backstabbing studio. I also stated winning back the trust that they've lost with players is going to be difficult. It's going to be a long battle ahead. Unfortunately for some, the damage has already been done, and that future studios should use this as a learning lesson. But let's go ahead here and take a look at exactly what was said by the devs. Now, I know you noticed the movement of the cam, and it was absolutely necessary given the content on the screen and me wanting to retain that green dollar icon for this video. I sincerely apologize for any concern caused by our prior unclear responses and the lack of clarity following the January 10 developer note update. After reflecting over the weekend, I'm now ready to share my decision with you. Cancellation of character design changes. This is a big win. Fantastic. None of the characters or costumes previously discussed in relation to this matter will be redesigned. Fuck yeah. All mentioned characters, including Teresa and Rafithia, will remain exactly as they are. No content, including the slap pop, will be deleted. Fantastic. This is not a temporary or tentative definitive decision. This is our final policy and will remain in effect throughout the service of Brown Dust 2. No censorship. Fantastic. Regarding the Liberta Prestige skin, I'd also like to address the Liberta Prestige skin. Decisions about content should ultimately be left to each individual and is not right for the developer to restrict a prestige skin that is obtained through purchase. I should have stood by our initial plans, but I lacked the courage to do so. The Liberta Prestige skin will be released in its original form as initially planned. The final choice and judgment will be left to you. This is an expression of apology. The skin will be available to everyone free of charge for 4 weeks. That's fantastic. Giving away the skin completely for free. Following recent warnings, we announced a toned-down version of Grenadier. However, I've decided to release her in her original version instead. Bra fucking bow. On revision criteria, many of you were most concerned about what the standards for modifications are and which characters might be affected next. To be honest, the criteria set by external organizations. So they are claiming here that they were forced to do this. I believe in a previous statement they said this was their own choice, but then here they're stating that they were forced to, and it was out of their hands, I guess, have been so ambiguous it was difficult to define them internally as well. My use of the term clearly an adult only led to greater anxiety and mistrust. This was entirely my mistake and responsibility. So I'm assuming this is in reference to characters that, I guess, that didn't look like adults. I'm not entirely certain. About service separation. Since Brown Dust 2 operates with the approval of each country's stores, platforms, and rating agencies, suspension in one country could lead to reports and additional reviews by others. Right now, monitoring the regulations are becoming stricter worldwide, and Brown Dust 2 has remained under continued scrutiny from multiple agencies. These are just people that don't like pretty women. Let's be real. They're people that just don't like hot women with big booba and big ass booties that also wear clothing that definitely accentuates their incredible features. I mean, I've like the amount of people I've gotten on my tweets that have come in and just criticized me for being a gooner and liking attractive women blows my mind. Like, I'm sorry I like pretty people. I'm sorry that I'm attracted to pretty women. If only I were attracted to fat slobs. I guess this wouldn't be an issue. Yo, I don't mean to interrupt the video, but I need to take a moment here to thank all my incredible patrons over on Patreon whose support continues to allow for me to do regular videos like this every single day on this channel. Thank y'all so much, including our YouTube channel members. You guys mean the world to me. So do you guys as viewers as well. Now, without further ado, let's continue. Even if we offered country-specific versions, as long as the original content exists, service suspensions could happen again at any time. I thought that separating service by country would not be a fundamental solution. Frankly, I was deeply concerned that cascading service suspensions could make regular service impossible. For the country in question, we're discussing possible solutions with the relevant regulatory bodies, such as hiding content only in that country, and that's how you do it. If you're forced to, then you don't punish the entire world for one country forcing you to do so. You have a safe for work version and a not safe for work version. Let everyone else have the not safe for work version and let that country have a safe for work version. You guys are making millions of dollars every single month. This game is at the peak of its popularity right now. It is now currently one of the most discussed gacha games in the entire genre due to the controversy going on. This is your time to make a safe and not safe for work version of the game. Suspending local service or operating a modified build according to country-specific policy. Exactly, there you go, modified build. Easy. Since these talks are ongoing, I cannot specify the country at this time, but we will inform you officially as soon as an agreement is reached. It's China, isn't it? It's China. We are not trying to ignore any country's regulations. From now on, our one clear principle will be to provide country-specific service, not modify content. And that is all we want to hear. If, due to specific country or platform requirements, it becomes impossible to maintain service without requiring changes, we will not alter character designs. So they state here verbatim, we will never censor our game. Let's hope that this is their ultimate decision and they don't decide to go back on it. Instead, our service policy will be able to apply to country-specific restrictions, suspend service, or provide an adapted build as needed for that country. And that's all we wanted. Legit, that's all. That is it. Even if this causes inconvenience, we'll not make decisions that harm the experience or rights of our users enjoying the original content. If providing the original build through all major stores becomes difficult, we'll seek alternative means so that users can continue to enjoy the original version. That's awesome. Good job. Bravo. That's all players wanted to hear. Let's be real, that's all players wanted to hear. Let me also share upcoming offline event schedule. Hold a user meeting in Seoul metropolitan area on January 24th. I'd love to be invited to that, I would, but unfortunately, I mean, content creators aren't going to be. We're going to participate in a Taipei game show on January 30. Cool. Development team will not participate in additional offline events and will focus solely on game development. That's fantastic. As we are still in discussions with regulatory bodies, there is a possibility that we may not be able to provide complete or precise answers at this time. That's fine. That's fine. Just make sure you're communicative with your players regardless. I ask that for your understanding as we gather and organize the questions our fans have raised and plan to provide detailed answers separately in the future. Good. My role is to protect your characters from external influences. Thank God damn. Regardless of the circumstances, character design changes should never have happened. They should not have. They really shouldn't have. Don't censor your vision or your game. It's just that simple. Otherwise, your game's dead. Additionally, I did not fully consider how seriously the issue of censorship, the adjustment of character design will be felt by you. Well, what the fuck did you think was gonna happen? Yeah, change the characters that we're pulling for. Great choice, yeah. Start catering to a demographic of people that don't even fucking play your game. I mean, come on, man. What did you think was gonna happen? Players are gonna be like, cool, thank you for making your characters less attractive. Thank you for removing fun mini games from the game because people thought that they were too, sexually gratifying or explicit. Addressing such a critical issue with only a brief message and without adequate preparation was entirely my fault and deeply careless. In that instance, the trust we built around our artwork was severely shaken, and now even upcoming releases may be met with doubt about whether they have been censored. I see this as my most regrettable mistake. That final decision regarding Brandos 2's service policy rests with me. There are no hidden forces or outside directives. I sincerely apologize for the confusion and disappointment caused. I'll do my best to make choices I and all of you can stand by in the future. Thank you. So, here's my thought on this. Genuine, honest thought. That's fine. I appreciate this. I think this is a great update. And ultimately, this is the exact move that we wanted. I'm glad that they were transparent about everything going on, that they were being forced to censor their game, and that that was the reason that they decided to do this ultimately, and that they've decided that they're not going to. They have decided that they are going to make a separate version of the game in theory that will be censored or censored in some capacity to the guidelines being forced upon them by that external factor or that external force or region. This is not going to affect global. It doesn't seem like it's going to affect global, at least, or the majority of global. And they've decided that in the future, they would rather just make a separate version for every single region rather than compromise their identity. And that's all we wanted. This is a huge win. Congratulations to the Brown Dust 2 community, which is, it actually does involve me because I love this game. I play it every year, and I'm also sponsored by them quite regularly. As I noted in my previous videos, the dev team are very passionate. They're very professional. They're very kind. They deserve every bit of success that they have obtained. I have done nothing but support them in every way I can. Why I made those videos initially were to help exposure, to gain additional viewers, to spread the word of what was going on in an active attempt to do whatever I could to help. And if I increased that likelihood, if I increased or influenced them even by a single %, then I did my job. And that is ultimately doing everything I can to help every gacha game in the genre, lending a voice to players and communities that don't have a big enough platform or reach to do so. Again, big win for Brown Dust 2, big win for Brown Dust 2 players, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the year brings and doing more sponsored content for them. Good job. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.